So what do we do with the documents, the photographs, all of our important vital paperwork when we sell everything to travel? So here's what I'm discovering. I'm midway through this process. So if you have any other advice, please share it. First is I have been going through and digitizing all of our photographs. This is time consuming and very energetically exhausting. So allow yourself time. This for me has been very balancing to some of the more physical projects. Sometimes it's nice to just put a movie on and sit and go through the photographs. So step one, getting all of them in one place. Get all of your photographs, albums, everything in one place. I started different piles. I did my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family, my childhood family growing up, my friends, my family now with my kids and my husband, and then other miscellaneous photos of people and things. So as I could start putting things in piles, I noticed so many duplicates that I had never realized I'd had. And also, especially if you're from the era where you print out multiple photos, there might be doubles of photos. There can be photos where back when we had film, we didn't realize if someone was looking at the camera. So you take a few, just like on digital, but we'd have to get all of them printed and we wouldn't know till later. And so many people had guilt about throwing photos away. So we'd often end up with many very similar, if someone's looking in different ways sort of situation and keeping all of those photos. So gathering up all the photos, start going through, get them organized, and then you can start purging. So what I did was I took one stack at a time then and went through and really analyzed which ones of these do I want to remember going forward. And then I downloaded an app on my phone that would help me scan the photographs. And it's just look up photograph scanner. There's all kinds. I found a free one, I think, from Google. And it would have you center the photograph, and then it would have you go like where you'd overlap 4 different dots to help get any glares out. And then those photos would simply be saved into my photos on my phone. So it was super simple. It allowed me to go through pretty quickly hundreds of photographs. Now, something to keep in mind now that you've digitized these photographs is what to do with the originals. And also now you have a digital copy, but if you don't have them organized, it's going to be chaos and you're not going to know what you have. So the same way you put those different piles together, make folders to copy those photographs and put it into a folder. I recommend having these photos saved in at least 2 places. So it could be a backup hard drive, a USB drive, cloud storage. You can get that through Google or iCloud or all sorts of, some VPNs have it where you can get it somewhere that you have them backed up, not just on your computer and not just on your phone. So then next what I did was I went through the photos after I scanned them and I made a pile that I was going to let my siblings and daughter go through so that they could pick if there's some that they hadn't seen before that they wanted to have, they can have them. The rest of them, just simply I threw away or I burned. That's what worked for me. So I have gotten all of our photographs. They're gone. I have a stack here for family to go through, and I know that they're backed up in multiple places. And if I ever want to print them again, I can. I do not have any more photo albums, anything. Documents. I happen to have an Adobe subscription. Being a designer, that made sense for me to use. They have a document scanner that scans things into a PDF. This worked really well for everything from copyrights that I have documents for to different like past year's taxes, receipts, things like that were worth saving. And what's really great about this, and I'm sure there's others very similar to this, is I could go through and scan them all to one document, save that as a PDF, And then later I say, oh, wait, I just discovered one more that I want to put with that. It allowed me to open that PDF and add to it. So that's been really huge. So I did this even for my children's schoolwork, things that I had saved, paintings that they'd done, or drawings, homework, school, stuff like that, certificates. That worked really well. And again, have it backed up in multiple places. Number 3 is the vital paperwork. So for me, we're going to be traveling abroad. So I have to be really careful at how I store this. And yet I know I'll still need access to some of this. So everything from birth certificates to marriage licenses, having a physical copy of a couple other documents. What we are doing is I'm scanning them in and I'm storing them in a couple places securely, virtually. Next, I am going to have like a safety deposit box with just a few, or store them in a loved one's. We haven't decided yet. In a safe, I guess you would say. Just something, a very small amount that we know are safe and they are fireproof and waterproof, and we're not carrying them in our luggage with us. So that's what we're doing for the vital paperwork. Number 4 is travel paperwork. So passports, things that vaccination records potentially for different countries we may go into, things like that. We have a digital copy of passports, a printed copy that we often keep in our luggage in case something happens to our passport, and at a very minimum, have your passport number written down. You can even take a photo of your passport with your photo page and the number and have it in your phone, so at least it gives you somewhere to start should something happen to that. And then just using really common sense, but guard those things. Be really smart about it. If you are leaving your room, have it locked up somewhere. We often use like a money belt situation when we're traveling in countries. So if we need to have that on us, it's secured to our body, not in a purse or something that could easily be taken. So those are just 4 of the top types of documents. We could go on and on about bills. I'll just say that as things are coming in the mail, or as we're getting emails of things that we no longer need to get for emails, and then for bills, anything paper we don't want to have coming to us. So I'm going through and making sure that everything is switched to paperless delivery. And then ultimately we will need to domicile in a state here and have a physical address. So at that point we will have a physical address in case something still does come in the mail. But I'll probably do a video about that once we do that. Right now it's all theory and we have a plan, but we haven't actually done that. So I can't speak to that yet. But 7 months out, this is where I'm at. So my photos are gone. I just have a couple that are still on the wall that I will digitize as I take them down. Documents are all scanned. We are down to just a little pile of documents that we still have. Vital paperwork, store in at least 3 places. Have copies, have notarized copies while you're able to do that. And then travel paperwork, have with you, but have a good, secure way to store it while you're traveling. So if you have anything to add to that or any tips for what we have coming up, please share. I would love your knowledge on the subject. But that's where we're at. And I hope that helps. Even if for not traveling, going through things and downsizing can save other people in your life so much work. If you can get your paperwork under control and have a clear, organized system to your photographs, and even simply minimizing them so there's just a handful of albums, I promise you your loved ones will thank you. So, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Bye.